Hey folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Monday, November 23rd, 2009. Well, folks, the markets are on the upside today across the board. However, they are off substantially their highs. Now, you can see from the chart before you on the SPY intraday 10-minute chart here, you can see that we did gap up nicely and we made a move up, very strong move up early in the first half hour of the day, actually topping out on the 10 o'clock candle right here, at which point you reversed to the downside and came all the way back in, as you can see, really just about down to that gap window. Now, gap window is just a little bit lower. We never officially got there, but what you did come down to was this key level right here, this orange trend line that has isolated a key level going back quite a ways in the charts as support or resistance. And after we got above it on the gap up here, you can see that ultimately the next point of interest was right up here. We hit basically the highs on the charts, the 52-week highs. Now, it's been beautiful, folks. The charts continue to tell you exactly where they are. If you can read this, it's like a book, as I've always said. If you understand the language that this book is written in, you can tell everything that's going to happen in this market. And why do I say that? Well, let me explain a little bit about this, why it's so fascinating to me. Well, basically what you saw here, folks, and let's go back on the charts. Going back all the way to last Monday, a week ago today, the market did the same thing. We gapped up, made a very strong move up. We got above this level right here, which was the 111.50 level of resistance. You got above it, you never confirmed it, and that's what led us to believe that the markets would fall later in the week, which is exactly what they did. If you recall, the markets last Thursday and Friday were lower and actually closed lower on the SPY for the week. And that was all based off of us knowing that there was no confirmation of a breakout above the Great Wall of China down here. And again, you gapped above it, but ultimately you never confirmed Tuesday or Wednesday of last week that you had that confirmation breakout. And as you can see, scanning all the way back, Tuesday never closed higher than this point right up here, nor did Wednesday. And then Thursday, obviously, the markets got punished pretty dramatically on the downside. Friday was down slightly as well. Now, today is another interesting play. Why? Because you can see, again, you ran up right into a double top. Beautiful double top hit, folks, all right? Now, again, just look back on your charts. Just on this last Monday chart, as you can see, you got above this orange trend line, right, on an intraday basis right here. But the next candle didn't confirm a breakout above that orange trend line, right? Therefore, that also told you intraday on Monday the markets were going to come in a little bit. Well, interesting today again, let's go back to today. You did close above that orange trend line, but you never had a secondary close above that high. Therefore, you have no confirmation breakout above the 111.50 level intraday. Now, I'm speaking intraday. We also talked about how you could tell that the market was actually going to sell off last Thursday and Friday based off confirmation. But again, just look at this, folks. I mean, it's pure and simple. Just easy stuff. And this is easy stuff just to gather. And again, we teach it in our research center. We teach it in the chat room. We teach it on our methodology webinars, obviously more in depth in the webinar. But as you can see, closed above the orange trend line, and you actually pierced the high, which is a pierce of the 52-week highs, and then you never confirmed it. What did you need to confirm it? You needed a higher close than this point here. You never got that. Look at the markets come all the way back in. So just on an intraday basis, that told us that the markets were going to sell off today after not confirming that move off. And you can see the markets coming in beautifully there and are actually selling off near the lows of the day right now, coming back in, closing in on that gap window. Now, interestingly enough, you actually have a bearish pattern development here from this down move right here. Right here is actually a micro bearish pattern intraday that you can kind of be watching for as well, and that's another story that we'll go into in a little while. But there's just a lot of data coming through on the markets today that are telling us certain things, just like last week. And again, we were able to position ourselves for the short later in the week last week, and here we are again. And now that we're back above the Great Wall of China level right here at 110.40, 110.35, then again we want to look to see do we get confirmation, and that's really going to be the essence of this week. Now, this week's a very, very key week because obviously, Options X is over, but now you start to have the issue of Thanksgiving holiday. Now, the Thanksgiving holiday means markets close Thursday, half day on Friday. Volume is going to be minuscule. It already is. Take a look at volume today. So you have no volume in this market. You had a little bit this morning, but we haven't even hit 100 million on the SPY yet, and that's calling for basically a day of 130 million maybe today, which is, again, right along the lightest trading days of the year. So again, based on light volume, in general, what you have, and I said this last Friday, folks, and this is another key call that we made from last Friday. Last Friday, let's go quickly to that one. All right, here's last Thursday, here's Friday. Now, Thursday was a great down day. But again, I want you to understand you have to utilize the same ideas on the upside that you do on the downside. Just like we said, well, you didn't close above the high of last Monday's high any of the days following it, therefore you didn't have confirmation, and that told you the markets were going to sell. Then take a look at last Thursday. Thursday, we make a low right here at I guess it was 109.13, I believe it was. Friday we hit below that level, but ultimately closed above it. See, this is where this is the low. You had to close below on Friday. This low right down here. You did not do that. Therefore, there was no confirmation. I made that clear to our chat room subscribers and to the close. Once we saw that, some of them went long the SSO and are getting rewarded greatly for it today. Now, again, so the signal there was no confirmation. Therefore, you do not have a signal that the market will continue down. And just like the market on last Monday, there was no confirmation to the upside, which told us the market was going to sell off. Same thing applies here. Friday, you do not close below that low on Friday, and then ultimately look at the upside. Now, the great thing about it here, folks, is you on an intraday basis, you didn't confirm the up move above 111, and that's telling you there's selling pressure. I just mentioned a bear flag, and this is what we do, folks. This is what I do for a living. I isolate these markets based on technical methodology that In the Money Stocks has and has alone, and we teach it. And just what did I just say just a minute ago? I said bearish pattern. What's happening? Market selling. See that? Now we just hit the kind of the late morning or early afternoon lows here. From this point to this point, you have the orange trend line of support. You're getting a bounce off of that. That's to be expected. There is support there. If you can break that, you're going to go right to this point. All right, this will be gap window, and if you take out gap window, you will go down and hit that 200 moving average. All right, but again, my kind of idea here is just to continue to teach. We're all about teaching, folks. We give awesome guidance as well. That's up to you to come and just utilize it through our research center. You get our Pro Trader watch list, hot charts and alerts, nightly videos of 40 minutes in length, and daily market reports, technical you name it is all included in there. But again, the ideal thing is I want to teach you guys how to fish, and if you can utilize this, we've basically been able to pinpoint. Just going back to last Monday, there was no confirmation that told us to sell off later in the week. Friday, Thursday to Friday, no confirmation that told us a pop-up based on light volume, and no confirmation into Monday, Tuesday, and possibly Wednesday. That's just the simple basis of it, folks. You can utilize it to swing trade on a very short-term basis here and utilize it to make a lot of money. Now, we have our projections for the longer periods based on turn dates and such, and that's all in there as well. All right, folks, that's enough for today. Continue to watch the support line. If you take this out, watch for gap window. If you get through that, the 200 moving average. On the upside, if you start to make a move up, you'll have these as resistance lines all the way to a double top. And obviously, we want to look to see if we get confirmation in this market tomorrow, where we end, what goes on, and so forth. All right, expect a light trading week that generally has a neutral bias to it with a slight upside potential. Based on today already getting that upside, you may go into a more of a neutral stance the rest of the week. Take care, folks.